Jai Hind. Hello cadets. Now let's continue our drawing part of image formation due to various spherical mirrors. Okay. Now let us start with concave mirror. So in the previous video we have seen how to draw the reflected rays for different types of incident rays. So a ray of light passing through the center of curvature, or maybe passing through the focus, or incident at the pole, and the last one is parallel to the principal axis. Now, in any case or for any given ray diagram, at least two out of these four types of ray will be drawn, and they will be demonstrated here, they will be drawn here for obtaining the position as well as the size of the image. Okay, so the first image formation is the object is at infinity for a concave mirror. So object at infinity, image at focus or principal focus. So the procedure to draw this ray diagram: first, draw principal axis, a single straight line, then take a certain distance in your compass. Recommended distance is 7 to 10 centimeters. So don't go beyond 10 centimeter, because then the mirror is going to be too large. The diagram may not fit in the page. Now take approximately 7 or 9 centimeter distance in the compass. Put the point of compass at, say, anywhere on this principal axis that you have drawn, and draw a concave mirror symmetrically above as well as below the principal axis. So always draw the mirror in such a way that it is symmetric about the principal axis. Then represent the opaque surface of the mirror. Wherever you have put the point of the compass, that point should be marked as C, that is center of curvature. Next, mark this point as pole. Now remember that these many steps will be common for all ray diagrams involving a concave mirror. So you will be taking principal axis. First you will be drawing the principal axis, then you will take some distance in the compass, draw this arc symmetrical about the principal axis, mark center of curvature, then mark the pole. Okay, so this is how you have to draw the concave mirror for all ray diagrams involving a concave mirror. Next, when parallel rays are incident, that is the rays parallel to the principal axis, when they are incident on the concave mirror, then after reflection all of them converge at the focus of the mirror. So this is how you will be showing the image formation, and finally you will be marking this point as the focus or principal focus. Another important precaution that you must follow while you are drawing the ray diagrams is always mark incident rays and reflected rays with arrows, because first you are going to draw lot many straight lines in the diagram. You must be able to distinguish between which is a common or ordinary line and which is a ray of light, either an incident ray or a reflected ray. So please remember, always show incident rays as well as reflected rays by arrows, exactly the way I have shown here. Next, now, so object at infinity, image at focus. Okay, this is about position of the image. Then we consider another important quantity here, that is called magnification. Okay, so magnification is basically, on a fundamental level, magnification is the ratio of height of image to height of object. In short, you can denote it by HI divided by HO. So on a fundamental level, what is the concept of magnification? So magnification in this case shows you the relative size of the image in comparison with the actual size of the object. So if the object is having a, say, a linear or a height of 5 centimeter and the image is having an actual size of 10 centimeter, then the magnification will be 2. And what's more, suppose the magnification is given in an example as 3, that means the image is 3 times as big as the object. So it gives you the relative size of the image with respect to object, how large or small the image is in comparison with the object. But please make a careful note that in case of magnification, you are comparing the actual size of the image with actual size of the object. So you may be sitting close to this arrangement, then the image will appear larger, bigger to you. You might be sitting then in other case away from the whole setup and the image might appear to be smaller to you. But the actual size or the comparison of actual size of the image with the actual size of the object is what we call magnification. So fundamental formula for magnification, this one is same for mirrors as well as lenses. For mirrors, there is one more formula for magnification. It is minus V by U. In this case, V is the image distance. It is the distance between the mirror and the image. To be more precise, it is the distance between the pole of the mirror and the image. Likewise, U is the object distance. So, to be more accurate, it is the distance of the object from the pole of the mirror. So, in this case, the image that is formed at the focus is basically described as a point-sized image. Meaning that actual size of the image is very, very small compared to the actual size of the object. So we call it point-sized. Now, when you obtain an image which is much bigger than the object, we call it a magnified image. And when you get an image which is smaller than the size of the object, we call it a diminished image. So, in this case, the image is of course point-sized, but to describe the quality, you can also term it as a diminished image. So, how do we describe this image formation? Concave mirror, object at infinity, image is obtained at the focus. Now, it is a real image. Okay, so what do you mean by a real and a virtual image? Let us discuss that part. In this case, you get a real image. So, whenever after reflection or refraction, okay, if the reflected or refracted rays are actually intersecting at a point, they are actually meeting at a point, these kind of rays are called converging rays or convergent rays. So, after reflection or refraction, if the rays of light are actually meeting at a point, converging at a point, then you always form a real image. So, as a result of reflection or refraction, whatever, the rays of light are convergent in nature, they actually intersect at a point, and exactly at that point, a real image is formed. So, in general, we can say that convergent rays form a real image. Maybe reflection or maybe refraction, it doesn't make a difference. If after that phenomena, rays of light are convergent in nature, they are all intersecting at a point, then you always obtain a real image. So this kind of image, the real image, can be obtained on a screen. So it could be a proper screen with a support and a stand, or it could simply be a piece of paper or a page from your notebook. On that kind of screen, a real image can be obtained, or we can say can be projected. If after reflection or a refraction, The rays of light are diverging. They are moving away from each other. They are diverging. That means no matter how long you produce them, they are never going to converge. Okay? They are never going to converge. But if you produce those rays in backward direction, okay, so the rays are actually diverging, you are producing them backward, then they will intersect at one particular point. Isn't it? They are diverging, so you produce them backward, at some point they are going to intersect. At such point, we say a virtual image is formed. Now, what exactly is the significance of virtual image? So for that, let's recall an interesting case of human perception. Okay, when I see an object, that means the rays of light coming from that object, they are able to reach up to my eyes. And so my eyeball is forming, the whole arrangement inside my eyeball is forming an image on the retina, and that is how I see the object. The human perception of vision is so designed to work that if I am receiving rays of light from one particular object in one particular direction, my brain concludes that the object A has to be in that direction, in that position, because the rays are reaching from that direction only. So it may happen that actual object is here, but I am receiving rays from here. I will see this object in that direction, somewhere there. So because of this, imagine a virtual image is formed. That means after reflection, rays of light are actually diverging. Now I receive those diverging rays from a particular direction. So when I produce those rays backwards, they intersect at a point, and my brain tells me that because I am receiving these rays coming from this direction, the object must be in that direction, when in reality there is nothing kept over there. It all happened because the rays were diverging. That is why when we draw a ray diagram and imagine that a virtual image is formed in that case, then we always represent virtual image with dotted lines. We do not represent them with dark lines. Whereas real images are always drawn with dark lines. So this is a convention used in drawing the ray diagram. If an image is drawn in the form of dark continuous lines, it's a real image. If an image is drawn in the form of dotted, non-continuous or intermittent lines, then it has to be a virtual image. Okay. Now the magnification concept applies to real as well as virtual image. That means you can have a real and magnified image, or a real and diminished image, or virtual and magnified image and a virtual and diminished image as well. Okay, so it all depends on what kind of mirror is used, where the object is kept, how the image is formed, where is it formed. Based on all this, you can draw a conclusion, or you can actually draw a ray diagram and you can conclude that okay, the image is real or virtual, it is erect or inverted, and it is real or virtual or diminished or magnified. So whenever you get a real image, it will always be inverted with respect to the object. Okay, so this is the third parameter about quality of image. The first was whether it is real or virtual. Okay, second was whether it is diminished or magnified. Then the third here is whether it will be inverted or erect. So no matter you are using lenses or mirror, whatever, if the image is real, it will always be inverted, and if the image is virtual, it will always be erect. Okay, so a real image is always inverted with respect to the object, and virtual image is always erect with respect to the object. So vice versa, image is inverted, it has to be real. Image is erect, it has to be virtual. So this information will help you in many numericals that you might be solving from spherical mirrors as well as lenses. Okay? Alright, so next class we will continue with these concepts in the next ray diagrams. Okay? Alright, thank you.